tend to hate on each other for a couple of different reasons, and it almost always has to do with the way they perceive themselves and their own self-image and their own concept of how beautiful that they are. Oftentimes, I've noticed it has to do with their hair. You know, there's a thing as good hair and bad hair or nappy hair, and if a black young lady is walking around with some nice silky long hair, that's hers. Probably the black girl that has some kinky hair that can't really, be tamed so easily, she's probably going to hate on her, and it's almost like an inborn thing when we're growing up. Keeping hair as an example, when you're growing up, your hair is your pride. And so to see someone else with a better sense of pride than you start hating. Or when it comes to skin color, lighter skinned African Americans or black girls tend to get more attention for whatever reason, talk about their caramel color or whatever you want to call it. And the darker skinned girls might just hate on that simply because they're not receiving that attention. It's a sense of immaturity in one level, but at the same time, that's just, I guess, how it works as women.
Because they have nothing to do. I've never hated on it. I think all black people do.
I just feel that is very ignorant of black people. Of black women, to be exact.
I would say low self-esteem sometimes. That's probably one of the issues, but I don't hate on nobody, so.
I feel black women hate on each other because what the next female has, that's better. That first female is always going to hate on the second female, whether it's the way they dress, what they drive in, what kind of house they live in, what career they have. Somebody's always going to hate on.
This Hollywood world so pretentious. Every other girl got a perm or extension.
Okay. Good hair, definitely not this hair. I have slave hair. Good hair would probably. I'm joking. Good hair would probably have to be. I like straight ponytail. At least comes down to about your neck. It has to be your back, but your neck. Let's see. If you can take a comb and run it through it without sounding like you crunching an apple, that's good hair. Bad hair, it would probably have to be. You can't run your fingers through it. It takes forever for people to do it. People hate doing your hair because it takes forever. Good hair always has to be long down your back, but just manageable. Something that you can wake up in the morning, brush it, put some in it, and then go. Yeah, it takes more than that, then you have bad hair.
Good hair, I would say, is way different. It's different types of good hair. Bad hair,
I feel that good hair is natural hair. I feel that bad hair is when you put a relaxer or anything, your hair think it's bad.
I don't know what that is.
Uncle Tom, I think it's about the James Brown situation. I think it was James Brown was the one that led up to Uncle Tom's case. Not really sure.
I don't feel like that's a sellout. Not really. I don't feel like it. I mean, you should do whatever you're comfortable with, and if they think that going to an all-white school will be better for their education, that's what they're comfortable with. So I guess that's a sellout.
I think the phrase Uncle Tom can be misused nowadays. Every man for himself. There ain't no such thing as you acting like a white person, you acting like this. I think whatever helps you to be successful, you should do it. I mean, stay true to who you are, who you were raised to be, but at the same time, don't worry about being an Uncle Tom. Just do what you think is right.
Uncle Tom's, I think that's pretty hilarious. It's like calling a white person Uncle Sam or something like that. Just because you have money and you're black, that doesn't mean anything. You are who you are. I don't care if you have money, you don't have money. To call a person Uncle Tom is really stupid. And just because Grant Hill got called Uncle Tom, just because he has money, he's worked to get that money. So call him Uncle Tom if you want to, but he has millions of dollars to back it up.
Oh, I don't really like Uncle Tom. I just feel like some people chose to take different paths,
Needed to love it, the underdogs on top, and I'm gonna shine, homie, until my heart.
In a way, I can say that I would sort of agree with the idea of black people, people of color being like crabs in a bucket, because when you grow up in the hood, which not all black people do, if you are getting out, it's almost like leaving your people behind. And so some people will hate on that and not want you to get out, to just be there with them. It's almost like a sense of camaraderie. And at the same time, it's like hating as well, because they want to get out. They may not admit it, but seeing you get out is not going to be pleasing to them, because they want to get to that next level too. And I think that that's common in any situation. When someone is doing better than you, you kind of look at them as you kind of envy them, and you kind of just wish you were in that position, I guess. But in the sense of all black people, I don't think that's an accurate statement. There are plenty of people that are pushing more black people to get out of the ghetto, to get out of poverty, to raise the next generation to be better off than they were. So to generalize it as all black people, I would say no. But to say that happens, yes. But not only to black people. That can happen in any situation, business, other races, schooling. It happens all the time.
I think it's the mindset of the ones that are doing the pulling down. They can't do what the other one is doing, or they're too lazy to do it, so they want to keep you down with it.
Black people bring each other down instead of helping each other up, because I feel like it's the situation that they've been in all their lives, who they've been around, what they've seen and experienced. That's how it affects them. And they see other people doing good, and they're not doing good for themselves, so either they're going to bring them down to where they are, instead of trying to pull themselves up on the top to where they need to be with the other person.
Even if you in a band, you still a nigga. Come on.
The N-word and black person. I think the N-word nowadays has a totally different meaning. I mean, in the 60s or any time before that, it was used as a negative by other races to keep us to feel inferior. And nowadays, it's something that you call somebody to be cool. You know, white people call other white people the N-word now. White people can walk up to black people like, "What's up, my?" And it's okay. So I think the N-word, it shouldn't be used as much, because it has its real meaning still is negative. But I think the N-word compared to black, I think black is always safe. Black is safe.
Yes, I do. I'm going to be very subjective, because there are two schools of thought with the N-word. My grandmother and great-grandmother and so on perceived the N-word as a derogatory term, something that is meant to be demeaning and belittle them and who they are as a human being. What has taken place with the younger generation, I know I'm not old, but what has taken place with the young generation is that they have taken that word and befriended, if you will, and say, you know what, this is a way that we can associate with one another. But the crazy thing is if other people of different nationalities use the word, it's considered a racist term. If something cannot be placed into the English language, if you will, as something that is endearing all across the board with Asians, Indians, what's the use of the word? What is the use of the term? And I think I heard Jay-Z say that words are only as powerful as you let them be. I don't agree with it. I think that's a bunch of garbage. If it is a derogatory term to our ancestors and how they feel, then why are we using it? What's the purpose? I believe that we are educated enough to have other words of endearment. That's just how I feel.
Yes, I do. Am I supposed to explain?
Mhm.
So I would say, like, black people would just be in general, and niggas would probably be, an ignorant version of the group. Or, ignorant.
Yes, it is. A nigga is very ignorant and loud. They have no respect at all. I don't know what even, I don't know why.
You would. Niggas would.
A nigga. This is a perfect example. whenever they see a camera, they gotta get behind it.
I didn't even notice the camera was there. I just wanted to do this.
But
I was like, dang, I was like, who's she talking to? Focus group or something.
Perfect example.
I believe there's a definite difference between a nigger and a nigga. Historically, nigger was used to demean black people, to separate us, make us feel lower in society. But the word nigga, which has no definite definition, I deem as a person that's just ignorant all around.
That a black person have more respect, and then a nigger is just ignorant.
I think there's a big difference between the term nigga and black person. I think that if black people would realize where that term came from, to be called a nigger is not a positive thing. It represents ignorance. So for, some guy to talk to another, young black man and say, hey, what's up, my nigga, that's my nigga, this nigga, it's not beneficial. It's not representing anything positive. It's pretty much like saying, what's up, my fellow ignorant person, let's be ignorant together and not make any progress with ourselves and our race. I think there's a huge difference because a black person is capable of doing anything any other person, can do, and it just represents, being a black person, it just represents your culture, having black parents and black grandparents, maybe how you grew up, that's what it represents, the color of your skin, and that's about as deep as it gets. But being a nigga is nothing to be proud of. However, being a black person is something to be proud of.
Oh, most definitely. I'm gonna give a prime example. See, in Christmas time, you have what we call canned food drive. Now, good black people, they'll go and see people giving out canned food, and they'll go to help. Niggas will see free food and go and take them. That's the difference between niggas and black people.
The term niggas and the term black people, there is a difference. First of all, nigga is something that's slang because the correct term is nigger, and you can be a nigger if you want to because that's just a sign of ignorance. That means a person who is an ignorant person. So if you are a nigger, you are a nigger. I don't care if you're black, white, Puerto Rican, or Chinese. You are what you are. If you're ignorant, you're ignorant. So like I said, black person is a color. It's a color. Black is a color. So if you are black, if your skin is black, charcoal black, then you are black. There's nothing we can do about that. So I think there is a difference between nigga and nigger.
Wake up, everybody, no more sleeping in bed. No more backward thinking, time for thinking ahead. The world has changed so very much from what it used to be. There is so much hatred, war and poverty.